The team making it to the finals is the team that debated on the affirmative side, Team Amsterdam.
Congratulations, Team Amsterdam. DJ, please. Recognize them. Anyway, in the auditorium, we had Team Somalia versus Team Transformers. It was a unanimous decision. A team that makes it to the finals is team. What's that team? What was that team?
Both teams had S for Somalia, then S for Transformers. They had S.
And they were all students. That is why they were all students. But then a team that makes it to the finals for the Independence Day debates is Team Somalia.
Let's have the team captains from Team Somalia and Team Amsterdam. Amsterdam.
Yeah. You can. Okay, I would request the debaters to come and take their seats. In the affirmative, we have Team Amsterdam, and in the negative, we have Team Somalia. I'm going to announce the judges that will be judging the finals, or that will be in the final panel. But of course, as I said earlier on, I want to show you why we are making these people to judge finals. The first is Adungo David Odiogo. He's one of the first judges that are going to judge finals with us. David was the best speaker of the National Debate Council in 2018. David has won various tournaments and has been on the chief adjudication panel for very many tournaments. Above all, David is but yeah, he's a teacher, and at the same time, he's a teacher of public speech. Yeah, teacher of geography, right? We are blessed to have him on the final panel. The second judge is none other than Gabriano Titus. Titus is a student of petroleum engineering. We are blessed to have him here. Titus has won various tournaments, and by the way, Titus is the minister of Justice, Gender, and Constitutional Affairs in Busitema University. So he's the man that you can trust because he will create justice. The next adjudicator is none other than Elianu Peter, commonly known as Atoto. Atoto, as I told you earlier on, has debated in very many countries, has been on very many panels in the whole world. I think most 3/4 of African countries have been blessed to see him in their own countries just because he goes there to adjudicate and debate. So we are blessed to have you. But what is most important is that he was the best speaker of the University Debate Nationals 2021. Type Peter. We are blessed to have you on the final panel. Then the next one is Mr. Sam. Sam is the winner of the University Debate Nationals, the champion 2021. He came all of us, even Adungo, even Peter, even Titus, even Mabonga, even the CA. He came to us, and we are blessed to have him. He has been on different panels, including has judged in very many tournaments, including the National Debate Council and various other tournaments.
Okay, this next one, since you have been announcing all the males, allow me to welcome Aloike Praise Apology.
Praise is a student of law at Makerere University. She won the Personality Award last year while we were at the University Debate Nationals. She has also been part of the chief adjudication panel in various tournaments, and we are blessed to have you here. The next one is Dr. Iwasima Marvin. Iwasima Marvin has won very many tournaments, including writing award from district to nationals. He has debated with other various tournaments, including the National Debate Council, and has actually judged with them. He was the best speaker on the youth Gombe debates, where I was among the speakers, and Marvin, we are pleased to have you here. Then
Okay, and finally, the last person joining the panel is Agava Ian, the chief adjudicator, the student of the law at Bishop Stewart University. Ian here has topped tab in several tournaments, away from that, he has been the best breaking adjudicator for World 2022.
thank you so much. So we are going to read the motion for finals in a few seconds from now. We're going to read the motion for finals, and then we will start the debate. But of course, we are going to use the standard time. First speakers are going to have 5 minutes, second speakers 4 minutes, third speakers 4 minutes, and then reply speech will be 2 minutes. The motion for finals reads, the Ugandan government should phase out multi-party opposition. The Ugandan government should phase out multi-party opposition. The Ugandan government should phase out multi-party opposition. Debaters work so hard to, show our guest of honor that you have content about this country. Show her the content that you have been showing to us. Thank you so much. Yeah, and another thing that I forgot to talk about is that when you reach on finals, you have that, like, how can I say it? I mean, those code names that you have been using have just been used because we never wanted some judges to judge, teams when they are biased or what. But when you reach on finals, you get that chance to represent your school, and everyone recognizes and realizes that you are the people that are in finals. So in the affirmative, we are going to be having Gombe 6. In the negators, we are going to be having Nabisunsa girls school. I hope we enjoy this round.
Standing ovation. Eh? Who are we, sir? Who are we? Hey.
Debaters, breathe in, breathe out. The first speaker, team government. We are ready when you are ready. Here.
I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel. Ugandan government should phase out multi-party opposition. First of all, in my speech, I will give you the meta definitions in this motion and give you the contextualization and drop into our arguments. As my second speaker will also be from there on building more of our case. Panel, first of all, multi-party opposition is actually existing in Uganda. A country, Uganda, in our context as we have it, we see that it's where actually many political parties exist to be against some certain political party, where they actually divide in things like the ideologies that they actually carry. We see that in a case study or what we can use, we have, for example, Uganda, where we have the National Resistance Movement in government and other parties against the leadership of this party, like FDC, we have MOVE, we have DP and other parties. But first of all, we appreciate the role played by the multi-party opposition, but we believe that the way they've been exhibiting, they haven't exhibited or they haven't done what is actually supposed to be done. And this is the time where we are saying that we should call for single party opposition. And I'm to show you the challenges that are actually attached to the multi-party opposition. First of all, panel, they become more inefficient in a way that these people actually exist and they have divided forces or divided ideologies. See a world whereby NUP is pushing for something, FDC is pushing for something. These all come with different ideas, and at the end of the day, all of them have one goal of taking out actually a certain government that is actually or is existing. So we see that they fail to attain their major goal simply because they are divided. So you find that if it is an election, for example, if they were to distribute 50% of the elections, you find that one party takes 10%, another party 20%. At the end of the day, they do not attain the major goal. Second of all, panel, we see it in the economic perspective. These parties as they exist. It's the government that actually has to fund them. As they exist, the governments are supposed, these parties are given some certain money that is paid to them in funding their existence. Another thing, panel, they actually front personal interests. If you're to relate in the past, see parties like KY, Kabaka, these parties were actually pushing the ideologies of people, where you find that they are not onto the majority people, but pushing their ideas for their personal benefits. So we see that we are calling for single party opposition panel simply because it will bring people together. They will fight as a group since they have a main goal that they want to attain, and they will be able to reach their goal, and they will be able to take it up. Second of all, panel, if you are to see it in this line where ideologies exist, and these people combine the ideologies that they have, they will be able to bring up a specific force against the government that actually will be existing, and they will be able to give something that is actually viable, and it will bring more of the community together. The idea will not look confused. Some people actually do not take up some politics because they feel like these people are actually confused. So we want to bring them together. Always we are saying that they should be together. Run a certain form of opposition that is far well organized in line with ideas. They will be able to collect more of the resources that are actually distributed amongst them will be able to be together, and they will create a force that is standard. Another thing, panel, we see that if you see how it really works in this world, we shall be having a world that will cause more of the opposition that will actually inflict change or will bring up change, because where we see that in Netherlands, when they try to check and make the analysis of multiple party politics that exists, they say it can as well act as a source of confusing the ideas of people that they actually have, since a certain group will take people with certain ideas, another group will take people with certain ideas. At the end of the day, it will divert people from the main goal or the main cause that they want to achieve. So we are saying that if they are together, they share the ideas as a group, they will be united, and they will be able to take up a force that will bring away a government which actually exists in a world where it's also united. So it will be one on one, and in this world we shall see a force that is combined, fighting for a certain cause, not forgetting the major goal that these parties are supposed to attain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the Prime Minister, and will now allow the leader of opposition to come and give us their case. Yeah.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to start with the battles and I'll move on to our case. So first of all, the current speaker acknowledged the role of opposition, but I feel like they didn't exactly describe this role. So I'll get to that in my case. And they say that opposition is inefficient because they're so divided and they have failed to attain their goals, they have unequal chances of winning, and we do concede this. So first of all, what is the role of opposition in a democracy? An opposition is something that we describe as keeping the government on its toes. The one that ensures that the government performs better, because government has to perform better so that the people don't get incentivized to vote for the opposition. The opposition keeps government awakened to the needs of the people. Daniel Arap Moi, 1964. So why has the opposition currently failed to attain its roles? Oppression from government. The opposition in the current status quo cannot exercise its duties, its roles, for example, to oppose the government, to ensure that the government follows its mandate and carries out all those duties, because it is heavily oppressed by the government. Opposition is seeking to attain governments at all costs. In the current status quo, we have opposition seeking to overrule governments at all costs because of the government's attitude toward them. Government isn't willing to negotiate with the opposition. It just sees them as a demon and not like a partner. As I mentioned before, opposition is something that's supposed to keep government on its toes, something that's supposed to enable government to be more accountable, be more incentivized to carry out its duties to the people. So opposition, as I mentioned before, is a partner to the government, but the government has failed to recognize opposition as a partner and is treating it as a neighbor, oppressing it. So it can't.
Don't you see that the level of distribution in opposition is causing government to actually be against their goals?
Don't you see that the government is oppressing the opposition? So even if it's divided, it can't really attain its goals. As I was going on, as I was proceeding with that, simply because it's not performing its duty doesn't justify its eradication, right? It doesn't make sense for you to completely eradicate the system simply because it's not working. Our alternative is rather to strengthen the current opposition, multi-party opposition, through coalitions, because we believe that these opposition parties have similar values, right? They have similar values that we believe that can be placed in line and then form a coalition which has better chances of defeating the government and holds more power over the government because it's somehow more equal, right? And it gives them, as I mentioned, a higher chance of winning. We do recognize the disunity in opposition, and we think the disunity isn't necessarily because they have very conflicting ideologies. I think it's there because they rather have different minority groups that they're trying to forward. For example, the Kabaka Yeka, they're saying that certain groups take interest in parties with certain ideas, and I think there's no problem with that. You're just trying to forward the group. You're just trying to forward the benefits that you're just trying to forward your certain group's benefits, right? Like the Kabaka Yeka, right? Trying to forward Baganda's welfare and stuff like that. And we believe there's nothing wrong with that. Especially in multi-party opposition, it's characterized by taking into account the population's range of views. In a single party, there is too much generalization, so you won't really get that specification to the needs of the people. For example, a party that caters a party dedicated to the disabled people is not the same as the way that party would handle the issues of disabled people. It's not the same as the way a general single opposition would handle that issue. So we believe that multi-party coalition, one, we're going to have that general, we're going to have that specification to the population's need, that reflection of the population's range of views, and two, we're going to have a higher chance of opposition actually winning elections. Then, because of that equilibrium, government will be forced to be more accountable, be more efficient, because they fear, okay, there's an equal force that can actually match up to us. And still, I say, it maintains the values of the opposition parties that reflects the population's range of choice. And we believe that is very important in all democracies, because at the end of the day, it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So we believe that is a very important aspect, and we want to ensure that by having multiple party opposition with coalition governments, we move for the core of that specification that we fail to receive from side affirmative, because the generalization from the single party opposition far outweighs the benefits that we get from multi-party opposition coalitions that are tailored to the needs of the people. With that, I'd like to rest my case. Thank you.
I begin in 3, 2, 1. So, panel, we as team proposition actually came and told you that we do embrace the role done by the opposition. However, I don't think this is something that team opposition actually understands. We came and told them that the reason as to why opposition has failed to achieve their aims. We all know that the only role, actually the biggest role that opposition is supposed to play is to get rid of the government that they claim is so bad. Therefore, they actually came and told that the reason as to why opposition has failed is oppression from government. However, we told them that 1 plus 1 is 2. That is not 1. There's a difference between 1 and 2. If you can defeat me alone, you cannot defeat us when we are 2, 3, or 4. Because we believe that 1 head is actually 4 heads are better than 1. Therefore, we are saying that this opposition can only attain their goal of actually gaining the power when they actually come together and make a single party opposition. Because we believe that if you are all fighting for a similar cause, if you all want if you all want people to benefit, why not to work together and then get rid of the government we claim is so bad? They actually came and told us that generalization will occur. But let us remember that it is good for them to be generalized, because people shall actually realize that these people are actually fighting against the government and fighting to gain the power. So if they are all together, this means that a vote that would have been given to another opposition member, that does not hold, because it does not get rid of the other government. We are saying let them come together so that the vote that would have been given to other opposition members can actually be given to this one opposition representative and actually get rid of the government. This is what we are fronting. Other than their side of the house where they tell us, everybody do your thing. We shall have Bobby Wine getting 5%, we shall have another opposition member getting 5%, another getting 10%. But this is a vote that could have actually come together and gotten rid of the government they claim is bad. So why do we tell you that multi-party opposition is bad? We told you that it makes people think that these people are actually fronting their individual ideas. I mean, they're actually with the interest of the people. Why wouldn't they come together? Because we are fighting for the same thing. Unless otherwise, when you have your own objectives, that is to also become a dictator like the one you claim is bad. Why wouldn't you join your fellow opposition so that we fight for the people? We fight the government that is actually oppressing the people. We told them that the biggest reason as to why these people do not gain their role is because a tooth cannot bite through meat when it is alone. They only need to come together and then get whatever they want. This is the only time when they're going to gain. Because oppression can be done to loop, but it cannot be done to all political parties when they actually come together. Because these are strong people. Actually, we told them that these opposition members are funded by government. They are given money by government. And what do we see? They still do not achieve the goal because they are working independently. Let them come together, fight so that they can fight the government that is in power, and then we shall see them actually achieving the goal of being the opposition. So we told them, they actually came and told us that multi-party opposition is going to work. But this is something that has been there. And Museveni is still the president of Uganda for 35 plus years, and they actually come and tell us that change is going to come. You cannot expect different results when you're doing the very same thing. If you're dozing in class, you do not expect to get 90 when you've been getting 40. When you're doing the very same thing, continuing to doze. So let us stop dozing. Let us come together. Let us work together so that we can get rid of the government that is bad. Thank you.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel. The Ugandan government should phase out multi-party opposition. Panel. In whichever world we live in, opposition has a certain role. What is this role? This role is to keep government on its toes and not to get rid of the government. I.e., when it doesn't actually fulfill its role, is it justified for it to be phased out? Aside negative, we actually do believe that it is not justified because this is the same opposition that has to maintain this sort of accountability to the people by keeping the government to its source, by questioning how it hasn't actually fulfilled its manifesto. So in the event that it is actually not doing its work, we believe that it should actually be more fixed than actually to be phased out or for it to actually become one. What am I going to do in this debate? I'm going to rebut to, and I'm also going to tell you why I was saying I was actually with this debate, right? They come and give us 5 arguments, right? They actually come and tell us, oh, 4 heads are actually better than 1. What do we actually see? On our side of the house, when there is actually more political parties with similar ideologies, 4 heads are better than 1, or more heads are better than 1. I.e., that there is a high likelihood of opposition even being stronger, so it can actually carry out its certain role, which they actually failed to give us a proper analysis of 4 heads are better than 1, because it applies more on our side than actually on their side. Then they actually come and tell us, oh, they have the role of opposition is to get rid of the government. This is actually wrong, like I told you earlier on. The role of government is to actually keep it on its toes and not to get rid of it, not take it. Then they actually and tell us, oh, making a single opposition party to keep them united, right? To come together. We actually see that the people are narrowed in this case, right? Because there is actually one opposition. It doesn't necessarily cater for all the needs, right? Then on our side of the house, what do you actually see? There is not taken. On our side of the house, what do you actually see? That, for instance, there are multi-parties, but then the minorities can coalesce together. Like there is this sort of coalition between people with like this similar interest, i.e., that this problem everyone is catered for, unlike on their side of the house that doesn't necessarily cater for all the needs of the people. Then three, they come and tell us, oh, there's actually this unity in multi-party opposition. We actually do concede to that. That is why we actually bring in coalition to strengthen the multi-party opposition, and so that they can actually be able to take down the government, right? They actually tell us, taking out, Then what is outside of the house? What does outside of the house actually win this debate, right? We prove we win on two main grounds, right? We actually see that there is a more representative of a vast group of people, right? Because there is this sort of more accountability on minorities, right? Because let me say, there is this sort of like disabled that actually doesn't necessarily have this say, right? Then through this multi-party system, there are different parties that actually cater for these different minorities on our side of the house. So they come together and coalesce with their different similarities and be able to blame the government for its accountability, i.e. putting it on its toes. What do we see from their side of the house? Such a thing does not exist because there's actually only one opposition party, i.e. there is going to be obviously a group that's actually more catered for, which is automatically the majority, not the minorities like the disabled and other religions, right? Then two, on this unity, right? They argue, right? That there is this unity on our side of the house. But let me tell you from first speaker to make my speech that there is no this unity. Why? Because there is coalition to be able to defeat the government. Say the government only win on two grounds, on these two grounds, if it's able to prove how they say it solves this. I rest my case.
Thank you, Pano. So Team Negative comes here and tries to paint a picture to the House that actually we are trying to eliminate the role of the opposition. We're calling for the combination. It's meant to continue to exercise its role, but under a joint political party. We are not stopping them to do their role, but they can do it in one political party. And we come here and tell them that actually the reason as to why they come here and say that the government is highly oppressing these political parties, that's why they are inefficient. But we come and show them that the actual truth is that they can only be more efficient if they work as one. They show them an example that two teeth or a single teeth cannot bite a piece of meat. But it's when they join that they will be in position to actually solve this. If you're one, you cannot solve a problem, but as your men, you can easily combine resources and the required ideas to actually fire or go against a given idea. If at all you need to go or to withdraw the government from power, because this is the main aim of all the opposition parties, you need to come together and you join force and you come up with a joint force that will actually put pressure on the government to kill it out of power. Take a scenario, if all the opposition parties join, they'll be in position to get all their supporters under one umbrella that will be in position to go against the government. The reason that's why we are still having government very strong is because these opposition parties are very divided. Each opposition party comes up with very different ideas, and therefore they fail to come up with general ideas that can easily fire the government. We come forth and even show them that even in the economic perspective, it is really straining the economy, something that they ignore and do not say anything. We show them that the government spends a lot of money financing these political parties. We show them that the government, there is ICOD, under which the government finances these political parties. If there are only two political parties, the one in the government and the one in the opposition, it will not strain the government resources. The government will not waste a lot of resources in financing these political parties. We show them that why we need to unite them is because we need unity in the country. If at all we are having the only two parties, that is the one in the government and one outside the opposition, people will be united in opposition and will come to front ideas. In their side, on the side they claim that generalization will be leaving out some parties. But we come forth and show them that actually it's only when they are divided that we tend to ignore some parties. Many of us do not know the existence of UPC, PPF, because they are minor parties, but if they join under one umbrella, under one joint party, we shall have to recognize them as the opposition. We shall not be leaving out any political party like how it is. We are not electing them because they are actually divided. We also come here and show them that we need to show the principle of change. We show them the principle of change because actually we are having these political parties very different. We are having very many political parties inside opposition, and we are seeing that they are not efficient. They are not doing what they're supposed to do in the country. That's why we are showing that if at all we change this to a single party system, or to a single party on opposition, we shall find that we shall realize more efficiency. Japan, allow me to go to the stakeholder analysis. We realize that it's only on our side whereby the opposition shall be in position to try out the government on power. If the opposition is joint, it will have a joint force that is actually in position to throw out the government from power. We see that people will find it easy to make decisions, to find political parties to support. If there are many, if this has different ideas, JMA have different ideas, people will be even confused to which side they can support. Even the government shall have a joint force that is even giving it ideas because they are meant to direct the government where it goes wrong. If at all Japan, we would like to show you the explosivity in our case. It's only on our side where we are going to realize more efficiency. Because on our side, we are going to have these political parties actually working together. Therefore, plan on winning on this because of the small.
Good afternoon, dear panel and the audience at large. So my name is Doris Kanyake. I'm going to be the third mediator. So I'll take POIs only in my third minute. Do not badger me because I will definitely badger you back. So I'm going to start my speech. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to give you information of what my speech is exactly going to entail. It's going to entail over rebuttal, my case, and then when the debate, of course. So as you move on to rebuttal, written for one party of opposition, it sort of suppresses people's rights because they try to come here and brainwash us that giving us only two options of one single party opposition and then one major party. They try to brainwash us by only giving us two options, yet we know that with more options, a clearer decision is made. Because if you push me in a corner as a citizen, as a member, as a Ugandan in my full right, and then you suppress me by giving me only two options on what I can choose. When I have more options, I have a clear mind on which decision is best made for me to actually put out my vote as a Ugandan, to actually participate in political systems. But pushing me in a corner is not a fundamental right. It's actually, I think, abusing human rights of choice and freedom of speech, right? Then by the time the government is, they complain that the formation of all these parties takes away government funding. But the time the government is actually funding, it's actually a mandate, it's an obligatory role of the government to actually fund these political parties. It must have been stated in some sort of constitution beforehand. So you can't complain about these political parties taking up more of the funding, because if they are given the right to actually form these political parties, the government has a right to actually fund them, right? So we feel that it has been undermined in the way that they have been stating their case, right? Because they keep on trying to convince us that forming one specific party for opposition promotes maybe equal representation, but that does not happen. By the time all this, what they fail to do is see the beauty in multiple opposition, because of these multiple political parties that actually exist against a certain government, right? You have more ideologies, more decisions that are actually being made, clearer decisions that are actually being formed by the people and these different political parties. Then we give you the kind of coalition where certain political parties that have, maybe they feel they have the most fundamental core values in common. They will come together and maybe form one political party whereby they feel like they are best representing their different core values. But then putting them under one umbrella, restricting their freedom of speech, their ideologies from coming up, because they put them under one umbrella where their ideologies won't exactly be formulated and expressed fully in the way that they work in multiple opposition, right? Then it's a competition necessarily, right? So it kind of mandates the original government to actually work harder, because in a competition you try to fight to be the best. But then if you're only two people, there are odd chances one might become the other one might rule, then the other one might rule. But then it sort of mandates the government to put in more initiative, a sort of competition that actually urges them to be better in their sort of governments, right? Then, as I said, they gave us a false dichotomy of only two major options, trying to constrict our decision making. They're only giving us two major options in which we can either choose this one or this one, and in that there's no taking. And with that, that's the only sort of option that we have, right? They push us into a corner, right? They push us into a corner, yet it's our full right as a citizen, as a full Ugandan, to choose whichever party that we want, right? So I am fully convinced that the side of the government wants to oppress my rights as a young adult in Uganda, right? Because they want to give me only two options, restricting my freedom of expression, restricting my decision making, brainwashing me that they have done over the past years, right? They want to control each and every single part of my life, as in the political sector, trying to convince me that, hey, it's the best decision for you. But then by the time all these political parties have been made, we have seen that they haven't actually been providing to us the best decisions that they can, right? Then, as I said, options guide the best guide decision making, right? Then, as I said, in our side, there's more representation because multiple parties that actually exist to represent different kinds of people that disabled and different ideologies that come from different people. Because you can't tell me just that we all have the same ideas and be under one party. And with that, that's how their side feels to win this debate. And with that, I'm proud to oppose.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel. In this debate, we all consider the fact that opposition has a specific role. Then on which side of the house is opposition actually strong, right? Two main clashes of this debate, right? Disunity of people, right? First with disunity, right? They argue that because the parties are divided, so opposition won't do its work. What do we actually argue? From first speech to last speech, we actually show you that there is actually a coalition, right? What does this coalition mean? From our first speaker, we actually get to know that these people unite together concerning like their similar views, right? They do not actually respond to how our coalition actually creates this sort of disunity. No, they just agree with us because they do not actually respond to it. Two, representation of a vast majority of people, right? From our first speaker to the last speaker, we actually see that there is an accountability of any sort of group of people. If they are disabled, there is like a political party that caters for it. But then what do they say about? They say that there is more on their side, right? They actually do not give us an analysis on how they are actually more accountability on minor groups of people. They just tell us, oh, there is actually more accountability on their side. On our side of the house, what do we actually see? There is different parties joining, different parties representing different groups of people. What do we actually see with this, right? With our coalition, we actually see that these different parties grow even stronger because they have these similar values. So they join together, holding government accountable for their role, which again side affirmative does not respond to. This is why panel win this debate because of what? We win on two main clashes of this debate, which is disunity and representation of the vast majority of people, which side affirmative from their first to last speech doesn't respond to. I rest like this.
I begin in 3, 2, 1. Panel. We gave these people a flow that we showed them that actually there is a problem with status quo. As it appears that the forces that are divided that have actually been appearing have failed to solve the role of opposition. At the end of the day, we tell them that actually if we combine forces in line of resources, ideologies, we shall be able to address something that is more broad. Because we show them that it doesn't make sense if you are just one, not bringing a collective idea that will bring the change that you want. We show you that for what you want to achieve, it's the unity that will actually make that a success. What they fail to acknowledge even at this point of the debate. Panel, we tell them that actually even the coalitions they are really talking about, they appear to be more of unity. They unify these people. It's what they fail to understand at this point. Actually, they agree with us that unity is far way better than appearing on there's divided wins. Panel, still, we show you that in our side or in the side that we believe in, we are to have problems related to inefficiency that has actually been existing in these parties. We are calling for that efficiency that will come. They say we are suffocating the rights, the ideas of these people. But we say no, we are not taking anyone off. At the end of the day, our ideas will stay. Our role as opposition is not changing, but we are rather changing the means of how we are to collect our goal. It's what they even fail to understand. The main goal does not actually change, but the means of attaining the goal are the ones that are to change. So these people actually fail to understand that. And overall, we appreciated the role of multiple party politics. We did not reveal that it's actually not good. We appreciated the role, but we say for this time, for something that is better, that is actually needed to be taken up, as for what has existed has failed, we say that united we stand, divided we fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a final. Thank you so much, teams, for that wonderful final. I will now, my judges, let's move out for deliberation. But before that, before we move out, I would like to recognize the presence of the organizer of the Independence Day debates, Mr. Martin Musoke. We are here because he's here. If it was not because of him, we wouldn't have this talent, these young students coming out and showing us how they can solve the problems that are being affected by the country. Mr. Martin, we thank you so much, and I would like to invite you to, say a word to these students. Judges, let's go out. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys? Are you fine? I'm so happy that you're fine. As I've been introduced, my name is Martin Musoke. I'm my young man, as you can see me. Yes, I also happen to be a student, by the way. Maybe just a small history of ESI. I'm going to say what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you a bit about ESI, and then after that, I'm going to invite our chief guest, who is going to speak to us. So my name is Martin, once again. I'm a student at Makerere University, and I'm the director of Erudite Scholars Initiative. For those who have been with us since 2019, I was in my S5 when I started ESI. I was actually a student at King's College Budo, and then I started it under the name ISC Uganda. Anyone remembers that name? ISC Uganda. Yes, and we thank God for the far that He has led us. Some of the babies of ESI, we have the independence debates. We first held the independence debates in 2019 at King's College Budo, where I was also the debate president. And then because of COVID, we didn't have independence debates till date. So we've had, at least I know some of you have participated in the Erudite Speech Open, the online speech tournament for Africa, over 10 countries participating. And we invite you to take part this year in December. We'll be having the Erudite Speech Open Season 3 online. Then the other baby is, that's the first baby, by the way, the Erudite Speech Open. It's our precious baby. And I do this in partnership with my brother Tahinduka of Debate Institute Africa. So we hold the Erudite Speech Open. The other baby that we have is the independence debates that you've just had today. The other baby that we have is, can you guys help me pronounce this? TUYAP. Now, TUYAP in full is the Ultimate Youth Entrepreneurs Program. This program is for senior 6 candidates and those of the university. It's aimed at linking them to seasoned entrepreneurs. So they go through a training of 2 months, January till end of February, teaching them how to be good entrepreneurs. And by the end of the program, for those who have startup capital, you leave after you have started your business, and we mentor you. We also link you to mentors in this country, seasoned entrepreneurs. I don't know. I think that's all that we do. As ESI. I'm also a debate coach. I'm a speech coach. I'm a writing coach. And I train King's College Budo, though they are not here, unfortunately. I also do other trainings for other schools where I am called. But before I call the guest of honor, I want to kindly recognize my team that I work with. Where is Esther? Esther Award. Esther, could you kindly come up?